how to arrange my paddle trips. Well, first of all, I get inspiration from books and maps. I love maps, so maps of the UK are great. So I think about an area and I always like to buy a map for that area. Okay, so the guidebook gives me lots of inspiration and other information as well. At night I'm just talking to guides and talking to the local people and also paddling in that local area. So it gives you the local knowledge as well. Because I think that's really important to actually get. Books give you your tidal flow. My page is opened on my nice rates, fabulous. Gives you all the tidal flow, through, which is really useful and a need to know. So when you're planning a trip, you want to be looking at the tides. So the first and foremost, you look at the tides. So we've got our tides sorted, we've got our tidal flow sorted. Then we need to be thinking about when we're going to do the trip. So when we're going to do the trip needs to be the weather in our favour as well. So we need to be thinking about the tides, the weather, and the group and the route. So we can look at the tides for the route and then looking at the weather nearer the time. So it's not the day before, but a couple of days before. So we're looking at the swell. So there's a few things that we can look at. So we've got XC weather, which is great on a map, and also wind finder, which is also good on a map. And also we've got some surf. Magic seaweed is brilliant. I like magic seaweed, which gives you the flow of the water as well. So we've got all of that in place, and then we're looking at the wind direction and what we need to be doing. So if we need to go and do a trip and quite competent, we need to play, we might be looking for conditions. If we've got a boat full of stuff and we don't really want to play, we just want to explore the coast. We want a little bit calmer conditions. So you've got to read the water with the tide and the weather with that. Okay, so we've got our tide, we've got our weather, we've got our map, we've got our group, we've got our boats all equipped and what have you. Then we need to do some planning. So these are planning. You can get, again, inspiration from the planning, from the book. So you're looking at your route, thinking I'm going to be here and it's going to take me so long to actually do my route. So I'm going to be in certain places at certain times. And I've got my group together and I know the colours of the group, colours of the boats of the group and their ability. So that all goes on my planning sheet. And that goes in my map case, usually. It goes in my map case with my map, with my route. I've laminated maps as well. And you can write, on the back of your laminated maps in a waterproof pen. And it's quite nice to write your tide times, because quite often I'll be on the water and think, oh, what time is the tide? Forgotten. But I've written it on my map, which is quite good. I tend to write it on my map in pencil. And then I can rub it out, but remember to rub it out because otherwise you're on last week's tide times. So we're going to go from Porth Dafarch today because of the tide times. So the tide times are in our favour, so it's great. So we've got tide times at the middle of the day, which is around about 11:30, which means that's when we get to go. So we're going to go. The wind is very low, and the wind is very low. So we're going to tuck in nicely because a lot of the group want to look in the caves and jump in the caves, and so it's going to be beautiful. When we get to Porth to Penwymoir, it's going to be dying down, so we can pop our noses in and have a look at it, and then even go through it, at a point, and go on the other side. Penwymoir is a big tide race, so it's a big tide race on a peninsula, and some people say it's quite a scary tide race, but it's quite a friendly tide race. So you've got 3 different areas in Penwymoir. So we've got our wind coming from the southeast today, and it's a low wind around about 3. So it'll make it a little bit meaty on here, but we can actually hook in before Penwymoir and just observe it. And it's good to observe, and also we can actually climb onto the cliffs at Penwymoir and just have a look from a distance.